Hello and good morning. It's Phil Thatch, and I'm here today in downtown Chattanooga, and I'm walking around with my Nikon Z50. And today I'm going to possibly exclusively use the 50 to 250 lens. It's super bright outside today. Today is April 1st. It's April Fool's Day, and I feel like a fool for being out today because it is very unseasonably cold today. We're having what I guess could be called dogwood winter. It's actually supposed to get down tonight to 28 degrees. It's in the high 30s right now, and my daughter has a softball game tonight that I'll be going to, so it's going to be a long and cold day, but I'm enjoying walking around using the Z50 and the 50 to 250. I've been doing some street photography, and there was even a particularly not shy robin that I made a picture of. So I'm going to keep working and maybe show you a few pictures, and we'll keep going. Robins are not my favorite birds to photograph, but it was fun getting a really sharp and up-close photograph of this American robin with a 250 millimeter lens. I thought that was really fun. Now, this girl, I believe she is a famous soccer player in Chattanooga and Cleveland, Tennessee. And I happened to catch this photograph of her as she was jogging, and I like the leading lines of the concrete coming down the hill. Here's a little short slow motion clip using the Z50. Continuing hanging around here in downtown Chattanooga, still using the 50 to 250. You know, I've made a lot of people pictures and a surprising amount of robin photos. There's lots of robins hanging around here downtown, and they are used to people walking around, and they get pretty close to you. So even with a lens as small as a 250, I'm able to get kind of a full frame shot of those. And I've made some flower photos. There's lots of little planters around town, and man, it is cold, like I mentioned in the previous clip, but it can't be overstated how cold it is for the 1st of April. I was really thrilled with the way this tulip photograph turned out. It's only at 104 millimeters and wide open at that focal length with the 50 to 250 is f5. And the flowers are nice and sharp, and the cars in the background with their daytime running lights on are beautifully bokeh-fied. I really like this one. Here's a little more 120 frames per second slow motion made with the Nikon Z50 and the 50 to 250 lens, as this gentleman is pressure washing in downtown Chattanooga. And here's a sheriff of Catoosa County who is from across the state line in Georgia as he slowly rolls by. And I also made a still image of the gentleman as he was pressure washing. I like the dark background and the symmetry of the cones in the foreground in this shot, and also the colors of orange on his clothing matching the cones. Now, this girl waited a long time to jaywalk. She probably could have gone down to the intersection and walked at the crosswalk, but I thought this photograph of her turned out pretty good as she sprinted across the road. And I like this photograph even better, mainly because the background is so cool with the hills of Chattanooga, and you can see the Audi with its turn signal on, and all the beautiful landscaping and trees that we have in downtown Chattanooga. Well, I've come back to the car, take a little break, warm up a little bit. The car is plenty warm even with the car not running. The sun's bright and is generating solar heat. Still got plenty of coffee left, so I'm enjoying some of that. And I looked through some of the pictures. You know, I'm kind of struggling today, but I say that every time. I'll probably end up having enough pictures to make a little something for you. But so far it's been kind of a struggle. Strangely, I'm doing better, I think, with flower and bird photography than I am with street photography. And this is supposed to be a street photography video, but that's the way it goes. You know, you shoot what you can shoot, and try to be as artistic as you can with the subjects that are available to you. So I'm going to sip on a little bit more coffee and get back out there. I made kind of a different shot than what you would normally see of the Walnut Street pedestrian bridge. This one's at 87 millimeters, and you can see a lot of compression. This next one I was on the bridge, and this one I'm at 250 millimeters, and you can really see lots of compression in this shot. And I tried to get as much symmetry as possible in this shot as well. Here's another street photography photograph of this lady as she's walking down one of the tree-lined and car-lined streets in downtown Chattanooga. And there's a lot of construction going on in Chattanooga. You know, Chattanooga is really growing with the fastest internet in the world. And I made a photograph of this person who was operating some heavy equipment at one of the construction projects in town. Here's another crossing the road shot, and you can see the hills of Chattanooga. That in the background is the Blue Cross Blue Shield building up on Cameron Hill, I believe it's called. And then this gentleman's walking across the street in downtown. This is near the Unum building, which used to be Provident, where my father worked for years and years. Another person crossing the road, and that's the Dome building in the background, but you can't see the dome. You can see the dome in this shot and that church steeple. That is it used to be a complete church there, and they've torn it all down except for just that steeple. And I haven't made a shot from this angle of it before. I call this photograph Conversations because you got the two ladies who are talking to each other and another lady who's talking to someone else as she walks through town with her cell phone. And here's a couple of gentlemen as they were walking towards me. I think across the street on the right is the Hamilton County Courthouse, and there's restaurants to these gentlemen's left, or actually to our left. And look, it's another bird photograph. I managed to get pretty close to this beautiful and tiny Carolina wren as it was thrashing around in the leaves near some hedges in downtown Chattanooga. Well, I have walked all over the place since I last checked in with you. Walked over a lot of the campus at UTC and didn't make a single photograph over that way. I made some photographs kind of around the courthouse and here at the Hunter Museum of Art. Here's a neat photograph of this girl and her dog, and they are having a staring contest, it looks like. I really like the way this photograph turned out. This was outside of a coffee house near the Hunter Museum of Art. And this next photograph, this person was walking along in front of the Hunter Museum of Art. You can see some of the statues that are out in the courtyard near the Hunter Museum. It's a really fun area to walk around, and it's just really close to the Walnut Street pedestrian bridge. And I made this photograph at the Hunter Museum of Art as well. I was actually looking at the flowers in this bush, but I ended up photographing this beautiful northern mockingbird in Chattanooga. All in all, it's been a pretty good morning hanging around here in downtown Chattanooga with the Z50 and the 50-250 kit lens. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Give me a thumbs up if you like the content, subscribe, hit the bell, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.